Teens versus reading. Last year, scientists and psychologists conducted a study: do modern children read books? According to the results of study, it is known that less than 20% of modern adolescents read books, newspapers or magazines every day, but more than 80% of them constantly use social networks. I was impressed. In comparison with past generation, teens spend more time on internet, TV, and reading book less. Communication with gadgets has replaced the joy of reading stories and watching movies on TV, said Jean Trench of the University of San Diego, and I believe this lady. So why don't young people read book? I have been asking myself for a long time, and I know that there are many reasons for this. Firstly, gadgets. Before, people used to read at least newspapers, but what is happening now? Gadgets has appeared and filled everything around, and people are no longer interested in poetry, music, and literature. Everyone is crazy about video games and beautiful photos in social networks. Secondly, a school program. Nowadays, we read the works of Russian authors at school. I don't understand the main issues of this work. I feel like I waste my time. So why do we need it? Why we read that? But we read that we do not understand. Therefore, teenagers are sure that all books or novels extremely dull, but this is not true. I believe that school can present literature from the other side and develop an interest in reading. For example, on the lesson, read simple and relevant books. Ask students to discuss them so that each student can express his opinion or arrange some kind of marathons, reading marathons. It's trendy. If children are forced read uninteresting books in childhood, they will lose interest in them in future. And this has happened to me too. I didn't like reading before. When I was a kid, my mom always read me fairy tales, and I loved them so much. I imagined myself a character in fairy tales, and it affected my imagination. But soon I went to school, and where we started to read stories. Every year, books we read become more and more boring. I was forced to read works that I didn't like, so I hated reading, and this disappointed my parents. Once my sister told me about a book she enjoyed. It was Harry Potter, but I wasn't engaged. After seeing this book in a store, I decided to buy it. I had no hopes for a book, but when I began reading, I realized that I couldn't tear myself away. My passion for reading started with this book. My parents like reading too, and books have always surrounded me, and this has also helped me. Since then, I have learned about such genre as fantasy. I started looking for similar book in libraries and shops, and my love for this genre grew more and more. There are a lot of genres novels, fantasy, detective stories, thrillers, adventures. Everyone can find a book to enjoy. Now, I'm reading mainly modern authors. And to say the truth, this book about us, about the difficulties that we have experienced or will face in future. They help to understand the problem of society and feel all the diversity of the world. Some people may say that reading is waste of time, but I totally disagree with them. Books lead you to different reality, not real one. There is something in books we cannot find in real life. The help of books, we escape from all the problems. I love to experience the adventures of each character. Moreover, it is always interesting to compare your thoughts with the opinion of the author. People should not forget about books. After all, they will definitely help you to get rid of bad thoughts, get to know the world and people better, and find a purpose in life. A reader has a large vocabulary and is able to keep any conversation going. That's all. Thank you.